If you want to keep up to date with all things Kingdom Hearts and this channel, then make sure to subscribe with notifications on. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome to another video on the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about more of the 358 over 2 days Ultimania. This is going to be the final video covering the main Nomura interview, and afterwards, we're going to be covering about 2 more videos talking about the scenario mysteries. The scenario mysteries is about, I'd say, a third of as long as this one was, so it's probably going to be 2 more videos at most, potentially 1 depending on the content of the questions. But in today's video, the last section, the last area of the main Nomura interview, he apparently talks a decent bit about Coded, Birth by Sleep, and Kingdom Hearts 3, because the interviewer is basically asking questions about what his plans are for those games, and is trying to get some insights to what Nomura's plans are going into Coded, going into Birth by Sleep, and going into Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm very curious as to what those plans were as well at this time. Of course, we've all played these games at this point. Well, I haven't played Coded, to be honest, but we all know about these games, played them, know their stories, know what they came to offer. We're done with the Dark Secret saga now, but it's interesting to see what his mindset was like in a pre-KH3, a pre-Birth by Sleep world. So let's see what he has to say. I'd also like to talk about the other 2 games that were announced at the same time as Days. First, I want to ask you about Coded, which just started serialization on mobile phones. Yes, in Coded, the structure of the game is a bit different than usual. Mickey and everyone are looking at the data worlds on the computer screen, and the player is controlling Sora in that world, so the story unfolds in both the real world and the data world. But each episode always starts with Mickey, unfolds in the data world, and then ends with Mickey, since you get it in episodes. I think it's very similar to the enjoyment you get from watching TV serial dramas. It sounds like quite a lot. Well, the first episode is mostly a tutorial, but World in the second episode will have something more concrete. We plan on having it start June 2009, then every month add a new world and continue it throughout this year. Honestly, I don't really have much to say about Coded, other than it's very bizarre they decide to release Coded Japan exclusively on mobile phones. Luckily, they did end up releasing the story later on. But moving on to the Birth by Sleep talk, and how about Birth by Sleep? Birth by Sleep will be a very important game that collects everything about the series into one story, with the 3 main characters. The story is as big as one of the numbered Final Fantasies. We put in a lot of connections to it in Days, and I think that a lot of questions and unknowns from the previous game will be answered in Birth by Sleep. Also, there will be quite a few original characters from previous making an appearance. So the mysteries from previous games will be answered in Birth by Sleep. Well, quite a few will be, but there will also be enough to leave you wondering what will happen next. This game is set the farthest in the past of any other, so it connects to Kingdom Hearts 1, but the main characters are 3. They haven't appeared in the other games, so how their story will end, which will of course be shown in the game, will leave you wondering even more after the game has finished. Dang, you can just kind of tell how excited Nomura was about Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep ended up being a lot of people's favorite Kingdom Hearts game when it released. Like, I definitely know it was up there for one of mine. A lot of people love KH2, KH1, and after the storm kind of settled, like with the remixes and stuff, we were anticipating Kingdom Hearts 3, we got Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix finally, 1 Final Mix, Birth by Sleep Final Mix, all those games. A lot of people ended up going back to the number tiles as some of their favorite games, but there's still a lot of people, and I definitely know when BBS first came out, a lot of people had that game as their like initial favorite Kingdom Hearts game. It was actually a lot of people's first Kingdom Hearts game as well. Considering how popular the PlayStation Portable got, Birth by Sleep ended up being a lot of people's first Kingdom Hearts game, which is pretty insane. But Birth by Sleep definitely like changed the series forever, literally forever. Series was never the same since. So is it possible that there will be another game connecting Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 1? And might that be KH3? KH3? Who knows? I already have ideas for the next installment. That who knows kills me. But since Birth by Sleep isn't even out yet, I don't have to think about it until a while from now. Recently, everyone kept asking me when I'm planning on coming out with Kingdom Hearts 3, even though I'm currently busy with Final Fantasy Versus 13. Oh my gosh, this is hard to read. I'm also thinking that it's almost time to start thinking about it seriously, though it's entirely possible that the next game in the series won't be KH3. If there was a way to sum up the entire decade plus leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3, this is the paragraph to do so. Oh my goodness. So what will it be? I can't say that quite yet, but it will be more official than a side story. I actually told the producer this recently and he said, what? It's the mystery Kingdom Hearts. Of course, I am also thinking about Kingdom Hearts 3. He had to reassure people that Kingdom Hearts 3 was a thing that existed in his mind. He hadn't started on it, but he had to confirm it exists. It exists, guys. Kingdom Hearts 3, it exists in concept. There's no trailers yet, but it exists in my head. That's basically what that was. Oh man, dude, that one paragraph though. I already have ideas for the next installment, but since Birth by Sleep isn't even out yet, I don't have to think about it for a while. Recently, everyone kept asking me about Kingdom Hearts 3, even though I'm currently busy with Final Fantasy Versus 13. Then to end it off, it's entirely possible that the next game in the series won't be Kingdom Hearts 3. That whole paragraph, oh my goodness. Imagine like reading this when this Ultimania came out. You're probably like, huh, KH3's never releasing, but at least I have Versus 13 to look forward to. Wait, nope, canceled. So much tragedy in one paragraph. KH3 didn't release until 10 years after this Ultimania. That is insane, dude. Oh my goodness. Bro, I might need to walk out my room, like, after reading that. Alright, so the last two questions. The last question, and then a secret about the game only he knows. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen next in the series. Of course, we have to wait until these 3 games are released. Yes, with these 3 games, we decided to show a new Kingdom Hearts, with one of the answers to this being Days. That's why it has a different feeling from the previous games, and we're a little anxious to hear about how the fans' reaction is going to be. This is the first time we've had a multiplayer mode, so I hope everyone will try it out and tell us what they think. Also, there will be a lot of people for whom this will be their first Kingdom Hearts games, friends who invite them to play on multiplayer, or they became interested because it came out on the DS. So for those people, I would like to say, please try out some of the other games in the series. And of course, for those people who have been with us since the previous games, I hope you will continue to support us. It's because of you we've managed to bring the KH series this far. I hope we can continue to live up to your expectations. And then the secret of the game only he knows. Koki Uchiyama, who voices Roxas, seemed really upset on the last day of recording, saying, now I won't be able to play as Roxas anymore, even though I'm having him play the part of another character in the next game. And we all know that's Ventus. That was a interesting set of questions. Very, very interesting, because it talked a lot about future Kingdom Hearts titles, and you could kind of see where like the hype for Kingdom Hearts 3 just started like boiling up. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep only intensified the hype for KH3 because we found out who the official villain was. And then when we found out like how many layers were added to Sora, Riku, Kairi's stories, how many other characters were involved in their stories, it became quite crazy. And Ventus like looking like Roxas, it was like, huh, this game, man, this game is that game was something. That game was something. That's all I gotta say. But that's going to about do it for the Days Main Nomura interview. The next couple of videos are going to be covering the scenario mysteries, or the next Ultimania videos are going to be covering the scenario mysteries. It's going to be about 1 to 2 videos. I'm curious as to what Nomura covers in those. I'm really excited to read them. This has been a great read overall though. I definitely think that this might be the best Main Nomura interview out of like any KH Ultimania. This or KH3's. Because Nomura went so in depth with like so many topics in this. He kind of made me like think things about Days like that I never would have even like thought to have like a perspective on. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.